What's happening? So, people know what's happening on YouTube because people know I love movies and I get asked periodically about different film directors. And if I like your work, there's at least five movies of yours that I can pick. And today's person that I'm picking is Brian De Palma. And my five favorite movies of Brian De Palma are Carrie, Scarface, The Untouchables, Carlito's Way, Mission Impossible, and then Honorable the Casualties of War. So that's one, two, three, four, five, six. I think I will stop. I think I go with Mission Impossible or Casualties of War, but it's close. Carrie was probably the first movie of his, and I remember Amy Irvin and that whole graveyard scene, and Sissy Spacek played that role. That movie was intense. Remember John Travolta was fresh face in that, and Heat Wave by Martha Reason Van Dale's that whole thing, and they were all gonna laugh at you and all that. What a sinister, creepy movie that still holds. You can watch it Halloween. You can watch it anytime. That is one of the coolest, creepiest movies I've ever seen. It's one of those movies I never get tired of watching. It is almost 50 years old and it still holds up. That's the mark of great filmmaking. In a pre context, but in a modern sense, it is still the business. So that's a great movie. Of course, we get to Scarface, and it was like hip hop before hip hop. It was the streets before the streets. There was a few things. There was something about wearing a white suit on a cover that it hit in the neighborhood. Be it John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, be it Michael Jackson on the Thriller album cover, or be it Al Pacino or Scarface on this cover of Scarface. It some about that, and it represented like a styling. But the movie sold American greed at its ultimate, at its finest, to come over to dream, to come over to do things, the underdog to take over. You can have it if you play this game. Powerful movie, which influenced a lot of people, for better or for worse and in between, but it was a way of life. A lot of character in that movie. Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer were incredible in there. One of the movies you don't soon forget, and it left a lasting impression. Didn't do so much at the box office at the time, but when you talk about what people look at, and it's not how it starts, how it finishes. It grew a legacy, and it got even bigger in the streets. It had street appeal. We get to the Untouchables. This was the start of Kevin Costner's run. Sean Connery was in it. I want to say Andy Garcia was in it. This is where Kevin Costner really hit, and Robert De Niro was in it, playing Al Capone. It was like a throwback, but in modern. It was kind of in different places, but it worked though. It's also one of those kind of movies that I like, but I didn't. I liked it. I like the what I want to say the intellectual aspects of it, the way it was filmed. That's what really moved me with the film. And it did. It was a grower, and I do think it's been underappreciated. I think it was a really great movie. I really do. I really liked it a whole lot. We talked Mission Impossible, which started the franchise, which from the TV show, which Tom Cruise to this day still be leaping in London, all the buildings and places and doing his own stunts at 60 plus years old. So this was the one in 96 that got the ball rolling. Hard to believe it's been almost 30 years. And it was suspense, intrigue, and that's something that the Palmer's movies could always do. They could definitely get make you look at the totality and how it hit. So I always thought that this was like one of those films that you just could not put down, that you wanted to watch, that you wanted to see. It definitely had a whole lot going for it. So I really liked it. And the last is Carlito's Way. Um, Al Pacino coming back 10 years later, working with the Palm again, and you know Puerto Rico with in the 70s with Sean Penn as the lawyer. What a film! Underrated, underappreciated. Back when the early days of John Leguizamo. Interesting film. Doesn't get quite the love it should get, but I think it's one of those films I never want to miss. I really enjoy Carlito's Way, and I think it's one of underrated, but I think it's one of his best films. Honorable mention: The Casualties of War with Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox, because I thought this was a really good film, and I think that when De Palma hits, he hits, and he had other films that I like too. So he definitely was one of the best filmmakers, and you can definitely appreciate his work. They have a lot of intensity, though, not for everybody, though. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. And stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. And when you submit questions and answers, I will try to get to them as soon as I possibly can. This one happens to be about film directors because I got some in there that I'm going to be addressing. And to when I do this, unless of course it's somebody that had distinctive great films, I like to try to get their five best films because to me that says that they had quality, and then I can debate. And usually I don't like to deal with one hit wonders or two hits I can mess with. One hit wonder filmmaking I try to avoid because that doesn't really. But this is a good topic. All right, I'm out. Peace.